Okay, so this is the lecture for Excel Module 4, and um, it's all about working with charts. So let's get started. Okay, so now we have this Excel worksheet. And the first thing that you need to understand is that when we're working with charts, we really need to plan what kind of chart is appropriate for the data. The other thing is, what data is it that I want to depict? A chart is just a graphical representation of the numbers. So it's an easier way for somebody looking at the numbers to understand the relationship or relationships that the numbers have with one another. And then in order to properly work with a chart, we have to understand the different parts of a chart. So let me chart something here and create a chart. So I'm going to create a chart here. Let's see, A4 through ELE, A4 through E. What's going on? A4 through E12. One important thing to remember is that when we're picking the data that we want to chart, we need to make sure that we include these like headings here with quarter 1, 2, 3, 4, and in this case, the cities, because that describes what each number means, right? So this cell, C9, those are the quarterly office expenses for the second quarter in Seattle. And if I go here, it's the office expenses for quarter 3, right? Because that's what column it's in, and for Miami Beach. So we include those when we create a chart, when we're going to graph our numbers. Now, I do not include the totals here because that's not going to work. So let's create a chart. So I highlighted it. So one thing that I can do is I can use the quick analysis tool and go to charts. And then I could just mouse over. I'm not clicking, I'm just moving the mouse across. And I can see what the different types of charts look like. And I know that there are more charts, but these are just the recommended ones. And I'm supposed to pick a clustered column. So I'll go ahead and click that. And it created the chart for me. Now, they want me to move this, I'm sure. Oh, no, they don't want me to move it yet, but I am going to move it. So I'm going to move it over here. And when I have a chart selected, so you see the resizing handles around the outside, we actually get chart tools. We get 2 ribbons. Now, the way the chart works is going to be significantly different depending on how we view the data. So basically what I have here is I have 4 columns for each city, and each column represents a quarter. So this is a good way for me to represent numbers if I want the user to be able to compare how each city is doing depending on the quarter. I had to go answer the front door. So what I was saying is that here, if I want the user to be able to very quickly see what's going on with each city, then this is how I would create the chart with the 4 quarters. So now I can compare quarter 1, 2, 3, 4 for New York City, and I can compare them to each other. It's more difficult here to compare, you know, the 3rd quarter of New York with, you know, the 3rd quarter of Philadelphia or Chicago or Miami Beach, right? That's a little bit more difficult. So what I can do is I can come up here to my design ribbon, And in the data group, I have a switch row and column. Now you can see that the bars or the columns here in the column chart represent the cities. And they're grouped together by quarters. So here I can compare the expenses between cities for each quarter very simply. So I can say, hey, so who had the highest expenses in Q1? Well, it was Philadelphia. Who had the lowest expenses for Q2? Right, well, it was Houston. The difficult part here is trying to figure out a trend, especially when we're doing one of these middle columns, like the red one, right? It's going down a little bit, then it goes up a little bit, then it goes down a little bit. If I switch this, what's the red one? The red one is Miami Beach. So if I switch this and I go Miami Beach, I can see exactly what's happening every quarter in Miami Beach. So hopefully that makes sense. You can switch it back and forth. I'm not sure what it is that we're supposed to keep. I think we're supposed to keep it this way. So let's talk about the different parts of a chart. So here's the chart title, and that is a text box. A text box is just a place where we can type in text. Over here we have the vertical axis value, or the vertical axis, I should say, the x-axis, vertical going up and down. And so this is a separate object that's part of my chart. Down here, I have the horizontal axis, or the y. No, that's the x-axis. This is the y-axis, isn't it? Y-x, yeah, this is x. And I can format all of these things, by the way. Down here, I have another separate piece, and that's called the legend. The legend is the part of the chart that tells you what the colors represent. All of these pieces, by the way, I'm able to move. Oh, hold on. Let me select the whole thing. Right? I can move this all over the place. And by the way, and we'll talk about how to move it, but you can just grab it and move it if you want to. I'm going to just click undo. There we go. Here I have the actual chart itself. So this is what we call the plot area. Oh, there it comes. So it's called the plot area. And by the way, you can click on individual columns. And if you look at the Excel worksheet, it's showing you what numbers you're seeing. But you can edit those as well. So you can edit these individually. Now, charts are dynamic. So when the numbers change here, the chart will change. So if the number goes to, say, 2000, and I press enter, this one right here is the column that changed, and it changed to 2000. So I'm going to click undo, and you can see it jumps back up, redo, it moves down as that number changes. So the charts are dynamic. Now let's move and resize a chart. So one of the things that you have to do for the assignment is to move a chart to a certain position. So let me read the instruction here, and maybe it's similar to the instructions here. So I'm going to make sure that my chart is still selected. I'm going to position the pointer so I have the 4 arrows. And it says drag the chart until the upper left corner is at the upper left corner of cell A16. A16. So kind of like that. And by the way, yours says in a particular cell. So this one's a little bit more difficult because I got to be in the upper left corner. I got to be really close anyway. Oh, come on. There we go. By the way, you can move a chart small amounts by using the arrow keys. So here I can get this, whoops, I can get this pretty close just by using the arrow keys on my keyboard. There we go. So that's where it's supposed to go. I can also resize the chart by getting, oops, I got to click on it, getting on one of the resizing handles in the corner. And so I'm going to move it to kind of like this. Oh, by the way, as you resize a chart, all the elements on the chart resize. You can clearly see that they did. The columns got wider. Oh, by the way, they will get higher. The scale will change over here. So here you can see it's in $1,000 increments now, whereas before I think it was in $2,000. Now it's still in $1,000 increments. Ah, now see, I've lost some of those. Yeah, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So depending on how big the chart is, it will automatically size and fit these grid lines. Okay, so having said that, we can, by the way, if you don't like the chart design once you've created it, you can change it. So I can just click here and say change chart type. And I'm going to go to 3D clustered, and I'm going to change it to a 3D clustered, and it's already showing me, see, the cities at the bottom or not. So I'm going to click on this one, double click on it, and see it changed it. Well, I actually don't like that very much. I normally do like them. So I'm going to change the chart style. So here I have chart styles, and I have a bunch here, and you can see that as I mouse over, it changes. I'm supposed to eventually end up with style 3. And I better use style 3, otherwise it's going to not look the way it's supposed to, and I may not be able to do some things that I'm supposed to do. So I would, if it was me, go with, which one? I like that. I like that 3D kind of look. Style 11. Okay, so ooh, that one's kind of nice too. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to leave it the way it's supposed to be. And then I'm going to change the chart layout. So I'm going to click here, make sure that the chart is selected, and then I'm going to click on Chart Elements. And I can have axis title, so I could add a title. See, it shows up over here. Axis title, so I could say expenses. The chart title I can remove or add. Data labels, I could add. A data table. Am I supposed to do a data table? Yes, I am. So, well, you know what? I'm going to just leave it for, I'm not going to do it yet. I'm going to go through this the way it wants. So I'm going to click on the grid lines arrow. Where's the grid lines arrow? So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click that little arrow. And you can see that I have primary, major, horizontal. I can get rid of those and see the grid lines, the lines going across on my chart go away. I can also do primary, major, vertical, or I can make them go away. This is one of the things that you need to do for the assignment. Why did they come back? I made them go away. I can do minor lines. See, they're the small lines in between. Or Yeah, well, those are more difficult to see, and I can go more options, and I get a little pop-up pane on the right-hand side where I can do all kinds of stuff. So I'm going to close that for now, and I'm going to go back to here, and I'm going to do what the book tells me to do. So for the grid lines, I'm supposed to primary, major, horizontal. Deselect it. Okay, so I'm good there. Then I'm supposed to click the Axis Titles checkbox. And add a check mark. And so then I'm supposed to close this. So I just go ahead and click on that again. And now I'm going to add a title here. So I'm going to, by the way, this is a text box. So you can, I don't know if you can see this, but it's got a dashed line around it. So if I click on that dashed line, it goes solid. And now I can just, whatever I type will overwrite whatever is in there. So I want to type expenses. Look at the formula bar. See, I typed in expenses, and when I click the check mark or press enter, it shows me the changes that I typed in. So now I have that bit, the expenses bit there, and I'm going to click on the horizontal axis title. Here it is, horizontal axis title. And I'm going to type into it, what am I going to, US offices. U.S.offices. Press enter, and boom, it's changed. By the way, you can format those things, change the color, do whatever you want. Oh, I'm going to select this area, and I'm going to right click on these, and I'm going to change the way they look like. So I'm going to click font on this shortcut menu. I right clicked, and I'm going to click Latin text font arrow. Times New Roman. So I've got to scroll down till it says Times New Roman. ST, Times, I'm here. Times New Roman, where is it? S. Oh, there it is. I just didn't see it. Times New Roman. I'm going to do 9. Oh, I'm going to change the 9 to a 12. So instead of it being size 9, I want it to be 12. And so I'm just going to type in 12 here and press, oop, I pressed enter. Dang it. Oh, no, I was good. So with these things still selected, so you can see that the changes have taken effect, but my issue is that now it's gotten really big. So it's really hard to see. Now, I'm confused why mine are at an angle and they're not. Ah, So the quick layout button in the chart layouts group. So the quick layout button is right over here in the charts layout group of the design ribbon. And I'm going to click on that, and I'm supposed to pick which one. I'm supposed to pick layout 1. Or am I? Yes. And then I'm supposed to click on the legend and drag it down to the bottom corner here. Kind of like that. Now my axis labels need to be modified. So I need to change the, oh, come on. My axis options are here. The alignment, text direction, horizontal. I'm going to click on the text options here and do, oh, let me close this and let me right click on this and go to font. Change the font size. It was 9. So let's see when I go back to 9. Okay. It's still at an angle. So let's go back to font. I think it's because my chart is too small. They've got it going all the way out to G here, or H. No? Let me keep going. Ah, there we go. So now they are flat. So they change depending on the size of the chart, like we saw earlier. And the font size here. So I'm going to make sure that my font size is correct. Yeah, so although that doesn't look like it's 9-point font. Let me close that. Okay, well, we'll go with this for a while. Now, one of the things that you need to do is you need to change for your assignment is you need to change the location of the legend. And so I'm going to double click on the legend. And you can see here, I have legend options, legend position. So I can do top right, I can do bottom, I can do top, so I can put it there. And remember that the legend is the part of the chart that tells you what the letters represent. This is on the left side, this is on the right side. I think you're supposed to do right. So you need to make sure you just double click on the legend itself, which is a little bit tricky because you have to be careful where you're double clicking. Otherwise, you'll just select one of the actual series. So you need to make sure that it says legend and that it doesn't say series 2. And then when you double click, you should be able to get to this bit, the format legend option. Okay. Chart title. So I'm going to change the chart title text. I'm going to click on it. And then it's supposed to say, and I can't read, it's getting dark. JCL quarterly expenses. I just do JCL space quarterly expenses. Oops, that's a W. Okay, so I have changed that. Now, I'm going to format the chart title. So I'm going to right click on the chart title and click, uh-oh, and my mouse died. Turn it off, turn it back on. Ah, it's back. So here it says format chart title. So I'm going to click on that and I got this. Well, here, let me do that again. Right click, format chart title. Oh, look, it showed me the pane on the right-hand side here. And so I'm going to click border. So there's a border. And I'm going to do solid line option. Solid line. And now I have a whole bunch of options for the color and the transparency and the width and what it looks like, etc. I'm going to click the effects button, which is this one. And I'm going to do a shadow. And it's a preset shadow. So I'm going to click one of these. And I want offset bottom right. So first row, first from the left. Offset bottom right. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And I don't know if you can see the shadow around this. That's one of the things you have to do for the project for Module 4. And then I'm going to close this pane. Then I'm going to go back to my data table checkbox and the chart elements. And it says that I should click to remove it. And I should click to, oops, not a trend line, not error bars, to add a data table. Boom. So there we go. Now, another thing that we do with the chart selected is I can change the format of this. So I'll go to the format ribbon in the chart tools, and I'm going to what am I going to do? Oh, I'm going to click on any column in the Q4 data series. So this one. And I just clicked on one of them, and you'll notice that all of them are selected. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the color of this. And so I'm going to go to my shape fill button right here, and I'm going to pick a different color. So it's plum accent 1 lighter 90. Plum accent, no, that's pink. This is plum accent 1 lighter 80. Oh, is it supposed to be lighter 80? It's the second row, 5th from the left. Oh, it's this one. No, it's pink. What am I supposed to do? Plum or pink? Plum accent 1 light 90? I don't see 90. I see 80. So I'm going to use 80. And that pretty much looks like what what the book is doing. Except my chart is sized differently than theirs. And I think I'm supposed to come down here a ways. Kind of like that. That's more what theirs looks like. Okay. So I'm going to do the same thing for, well, I'm going to do something different here for Q3. So I'm just going to click on any of the Q3 series. Doesn't matter which one it is. And I'm going to click on the shape styles, and I'm going to click the more button here. Is it shape effects or is it shape styles? I can't see with these glasses on over there, and I can't see this. Shape styles gallery here. And I'm supposed to pick subtle effect pink accent 3. subtle effect plum, subtle effect pink accent 3. So that's the one. I'll click on that. And it changed that color. So there are shape styles that I can use also to get different colors. And then I'm going to go to the text button, which is in the insert group, and I'm going to add a header or a footer. Footer. So I'm going to do a custom footer. So I'm going to click on this. And then in the center section, I'm going to put my name. Press. Oh, and by the way, there are other things that you can put in here. I could put page numbers. Why is it not showing up? It's not, never mind. But there are other things you can put in. I'm going to just click OK and click OK. And then in the footer section of this, there should be a page. There should be my name. What else do I need to do? Oh, create a pie chart. And then we got to do spark lines. Okay, so that's relatively easy. Now, a pie chart represents the percentage of a whole. So that means it's really not good for graphing this kind of data. So quarter 1, 2, 3, 4. What it's good for is it's graphing my totals here. And so what I can do is I can graph my totals, and I'm going to use the control key to select two columns that aren't next to each other. So I have my cities and the totals for each city. Oh, and I picked the last one, I think, and I don't want that one. So let me do this again. Oh, let me highlight this section and then hold down Control and highlight this section. And now I did it backwards, so I'd have to switch. So I don't want to switch. So I'm going to do it this way and do it in the right order. And now I'm going to do a pie chart. You have to actually do a donut chart, which is part of the pie charts. But I'm going to do a pie chart and I'm going to do a 2D pie chart. And it creates it. And I'm just going to move it over here. And we still have a legend. We have a chart title. And so now there are other elements that I can add. And by the way, I can change the way this looks up here very quickly. And am I supposed to? Let's see. Select the chart title. Move the chart. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so I have a whole bunch of options here that I kind of like, but they don't want me to use those. So what they want me to do is they want me to do chart elements. So I'm going to click here on chart elements, and I'm going to go to data labels. And I'm going to click the arrow. And so I have data labels where I can put them in different spots. And I'm supposed to do outside end, best fit, more options. So I'm just going to do outside end. Then I'm going to click more options. There it goes. And I have my format data labels here. So here are the data labels. You can see that they're all selected. And what am I going to do? I'm going to do a percentage. So I'm going to click this percentage checkbox. And so now it added a percentage. And then I'm going to get rid of the values. So I'm going to uncheck the actual values to get rid of that. Then I'm going to close this again and click here. And so now you can see what has happened so far. I'm also going to take the data point for Houston. So Houston is this dark blue one. So it's the 6% one. And what I want to do is I want to just select that one. So I had to click and then click it again to select it. Okay, because the first time it clicked all of the slices of the pie and I just wanted the one. So now I have just this one selected and I'm going to double click it. And here it says I can change I can make this come out. I can highlight it. If Houston is my highlighted one, the one that I want to have highlighted, I can make it stand out by pulling it out of the pie a little bit, like that. I can also rotate, I should be able to rotate this whole thing. However you want it. I'll just leave it like this. The data labels, so they want me to click on the data labels again? Okay, so I'm going to click on the data labels and I'm going to click the, what am I supposed to click? Oh, I'm supposed to come here and click on this and do data call out. So I'm actually going to change these. So I need to make sure that I don't have them selected. And so I'm going to do data call out instead. And I'll click off of that. There we go. Okay, so let's summarize data with sparklines, which is actually relatively easy. Basically, sparklines are a way to graph data in a chart form with, well, in a worksheet without using a chart. So for instance, if I want to see the trends of, New York quarter 1, 2, 3, 4, I can use what we call sparklines. So let's go to the conditional, well, actually, I just want to do this top one. So conditional formatting. Oh no, it's not in conditional formatting. Where is it? Yeah, I am going to select, okay, so here I am, G5, insert. So I'm going to insert a sparkline. Where are they? Here they are, sparklines. There's a whole group in the insert ribbon, and they're here. And so now it's asking me, what data do I want to have the sparklines represent? So I just want quarters 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't want to add the total into this. So I'm just going to click and drag across there. And the sparklines are going to be here. Oops. Yeah, okay. And I press OK. So you can see that a sparkline just shows me there are 4 quarters. So here's quarter 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to drag that so that I can see the sparklines all the way for Philadelphia also. And then I'm going to format these a little bit. And you can see that I have sparkline tools selected because I selected these. See, and I'm going to do markers on these. So now each data point has a little red dot. And by the way, I can change the style. So I can change the way it looks here. I have a whole bunch that I can pick from. I don't know what I'm supposed to use. I honestly don't care which one I'm supposed to use. I'm going to use that one because I think I like it. There we go. So let me highlight them again. Am I supposed to do something else? Oh, I'm supposed to do marker colors. Okay, so I'm going to do the markers and I'm supposed to do it blue-gray. accent 6. There we go. And the sparkline color, what am I supposed to do the sparkline color in? Plum sparkline style accent 3. Plum. Is this it? Yeah, and which one? Darker 50. That one. Okay, so there you go. I can barely make out that plum. It just looks black to me. But okay, so you can format each individual thing just like with anything else. You can go crazy. But you can see what a sparkline does, and it just shows me, hey, Q1, so what's the trend here? You know, for this data set. For Seattle, what is the expenses trend? Whoa, they went way down from first to second quarter. So it's a nice way to visualize stuff that in a simple way without using a whole chart. Now, there is one thing that we can do, is that we can actually take a chart and we can create a trend line in a chart. So I'm going to switch the rows and columns here, and I'm actually going to get rid of the data table and just do a legend again. But I need to put the legend at the bottom. There we go. So now I have it at the bottom. So I'm going to do a trend line. And what kind of trend line do I want? Which one do I want? Linear. And then I'm going to pick which series that I want. So which city do I want a trend line? And I'm supposed to do 2 of them. So I'm going to click on Houston. And so Houston, and press OK. And see, a trend line has been created. And then New York. So I'm going to create another linear trend line with New York. And notice how it picks the same color as the column for the trend line. So Houston is the dark blue, so that the line is dark blue. New York is this dark plum. What happened to Philadelphia? Oh, no, it's fine. That's not the one I changed. I changed Chicago. Well, I changed one of the quarters, but yeah, so anyway. So I'm good here. Now, I have more options. Oh, no, cancel. I'm going to pick the New York trend line, and I'm going to double click on it. Oh, come on. There we go. And now I get a format trend line pane that shows up on the right-hand side, and I can okay, so what kind of line do I want? I want a dashed line like this. And I'm going to do a different one for New York, Houston. So I clicked on Houston, and then I'm going to do round dots for Houston. Again, I can change the color if I want. I can change and have an arrow at the end. See, there's an arrow there, arrowhead. I could change the size of the arrow, make it really big, see, etc. So there's all kinds of stuff you can do. Actually, I don't want an arrow. I just want it to be a straight line. Oop, no, I don't want a gradient line. I want a solid line. Oh, I can also, let me get on one of these. I could change the name of the trend line to something custom. And I could trend this out let's do forecast 1 and backwards 1. So if I press enter, oop, why didn't it go back 1? Oops, delete. Okay, so that's too far forward. So let's go 0 here. Okay, so let me change the size of this a little bit. I just want to change the length of the forecast and the series going backwards. So I want to change the forward so that it says 1, and I want to change the backwards so that it also says 1. It's not letting me. Oh, it won't let me do both. Okay. So basically, I'm forecasting out now, and I'm going to do the same thing for my Houston one. So I'm going to change this forward to 1. Oops. Enter. There we go. So now I can see that the trend basically is going like this. And so if I go to the next quarter, I'm going to see, so I'm forecasting out a quarter for both of these. I can see that the trend is upward and it's going to be around here somewhere if the trend holds true. And for New York, you can see that it's a little bit flatter, but it's still going up. If I added a trend line for, well, we could do a trend line for Miami Beach. So let's do that. Trend line for, we're going to do a linear one for Miami Beach and click OK. You can see that that one is going down slightly. And so if I trend that out, oh, come on. I got it. There it is. So if I forecast this by 1 period, which is 1 quarter, you can see that it's going to go down slightly. So that line is going down slightly. Okay, so those are identifying trends and how to do it. That is all there is for Module 4. Let me double check to make sure that there isn't something that you need to do for the actual assignment. So I gotta look that up, see if there's something that I need to tell you. So I'm gonna pause this for a second and then I'll be right back. I'm back. I didn't see anything crazy. So let me I did bring it up. I didn't see anything that we were really supposed to do that I haven't covered yet. So basically there are 3 sheets here, the January to April review. Then we have the categorized expenses. This is one of those where you have to explode this by double clicking on it and doing the pie explosion thing for a particular piece. You're supposed to do it 7%. Then we have the profit analysis. That's where you have your actual worksheet data here, profit and revenue, and these are your two charts here. This is the one where it says make the top corner be in H2 and make the bottom corner be in the cell S21, and the same thing for this one. So you just have to be kind of close. Okay, so you have to be in that cell, and it should pick it up and grade it correctly. Having said that, there you go. So I'll have these posted, and there you go. Get working on them. These are a little bit more complicated than the Word assignments. Okay, we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye. And I shouldn't say bye-bye until I actually am ready to stop recording. Okay, so now bye. We'll see you later.